Party.
Hello, welcome to the party.
Hi, I've never met you before.
I know.
Just two guys and we're having a good time. Having a good time. Having a good time. Just two guys and we're having a good time. Having a good time.
Welcome back to Just Two Guys. Tonight we have a taping and Mike is out of town, so he doesn't realize that I've put a show together without his knowledge, and I'm about to call him and get him on the phone. He doesn't know that I'm doing this show, so I'm going to try to gauge his reaction. Well, that's not good. There.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, homeboy?
Hey, how you doing?
Fine, how are you?
Not bad. What are you up to this evening?
Not much. How's your training going?
Oh, it's going pretty well. Going pretty well. I'm glad to be wrapping it up soon.
Probably tired, huh?
Yes. Being
Yeah.
away from home is difficult.
Yeah, so you remember I told you that we had a taping, a schedule that opened up for us?
Yeah, and we canceled it.
Yeah, well, we didn't really cancel. I just put together a little show, and I'm interviewing Kavitha Cardoza tonight.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, wait, tonight?
Yeah, I'm here at the studio right now. You're on the show.
What?
Yeah, I put you on the show.
Did you ever think that this was just two guys?
Well,
Oh my! You know, this is one of the most backstabbing, two-timing. You know, this would just figure coming
hey.
from a James Spader-looking poop throat.
Okay, well, anyway, on with the show, I guess. I know that he's a couple of hours from here, and he can't get here before I finish the show. So I've put together a little slideshow. Some friends of mine, John and Trina, I'd like to give a shout out to those two, have been playing a game for a long time, I guess, where they take local celebrities or even people in their day-to-day lives, and they find celebrities or national figures who look like them, and they call them their twins. So they're always playing this game where they try to find twins. And a while back, they had this idea for doing a twins show where we put together a slideshow and showed some local people with their celebrity twins. So I put together a little slideshow, and I thought I would run through that tonight before we get to our interview. So if we could bring that up, I've got it ready here. Wow, that's really a graphic. Okay, so Springfield personalities and their celebrity twins. The first one we have is Channel 20's Elizabeth Woolley. You may know her as the news anchor of the 6 o'clock news. I think she's on the 6 o'clock news. And here's her celebrity twin, Gillian Anderson, badass FBI agent from the X-Files. And I think if you'll really take a look at that, you'll notice that the comparison is pretty startling. So we really have a Gillian Anderson right here in our hometown. The next we have is Carl Madonna, also of Channel 20, and I like to call him the morning show madman, basically because this morning he really made me mad when he was talking smack about the Chicago Cubs, and I didn't appreciate that. But anyway, he looks like Mr. Incredible, the superhero from the cartoon The Incredibles. I think you'll see a striking resemblance there between him, and I'm not sure that maybe Carl Madonna isn't a superhero at night. So I know that he says he gets to bed early, but we'll see. Then we have Frank Edwards, Springfield City Alderman. He's in the news quite frequently, and until I started doing this project, I didn't really have a good read on what he looked like, but when I saw him, I knew immediately that he looked just like Webster's dad from the show Webster. That's Alex Karras, who I think also played football or something, but if ever they made a movie about Frank Edwards' life, they would star Alex Karras in that movie. let's see, who do we have next? Ashley Glass, another Channel 20 celebrity here in town. And you may notice a resemblance to this little lady, Scarlett Johansson, who I'm not sure I've ever seen her in anything except like Entertainment Tonight when I flip by. I don't know anything about her other than that she looks like Ashley Glass. So that might be really sad on my part that I don't know that. Larry Baumke. Now just for a few minutes, let's think about what Larry Baumke looks like. What is a defining feature of Larry Baumke? And I would have to say it's that mustache. Take a look at this picture. Tell me what you think of that. Groucho Marx, comedy super genius. Now who's the comedian? Then we have Sam Canman, Springfield City Alderman, recently elected to the Springfield City Council. And his celebrity twin, Jerry Orbach, the wisecracking Law and Order detective. And as my wife so aptly pointed out to me, what's that girl's name on, what's her name, Aubrey? Baby. On Dirty Dancing. That's Baby's dad from Dirty Dancing. And he definitely did not put Baby in the corner. I think Patrick Swayze did that shortly after he broke up with that other girl who had his baby. And then we have Judy Bar Topinka, former state treasurer and current barmaid. And she looks a lot like Shirley MacLaine. And as soon as they get together that biopic of Judy Bar Topinka, I think you'll see Shirley MacLaine in the lead role. Okay, for our final celebrity twin of the night, Rod Blagojevich, governor. I know that he's got a lot of friends and enemies in this town, but I think he looks a lot like, and this is pretty, there are a number of reasons why I chose this connection, but I think it makes sense. Joe Quimby, mayor of The Simpsons, which is somewhat relevant now because we're in such a heated race to get the Springfield as the city for The Simpsons movie premiere. And that's all I have for the slideshow. And stay tuned for an interview with NPR WUIS Bureau Chief Kavitha Cardoza coming up next. Welcome back to the show. Tonight's special guest is Kavitha Cardoza from WUIS, the NPR affiliate here in Springfield. And it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we've been trying to get you for a long time, and there just was always a scheduling conflict, so it was good that we could finally work this out. I always like to start my questions with people with a little bit of information on your background. What got you to radio, and why maybe that you chose to get into radio as opposed to another career?
Background real quick, I was born in England, raised in India, and then I came to America to study and then stayed on in Springfield. What got me into radio, I don't know. Journalism just seemed to be one of those careers or one of those things I fell into because it combined a lot of, I like research a lot, I like theater a lot, I liked meeting people, I liked speaking, I liked writing, so it seemed to combine a lot of different interests. Radio is only because of public radio.
Really?
I had done newspaper in India, and when I came to Springfield, I had interned at a few television stations, and then I discovered public radio, and there was no equivalent in another country that I had lived in India. So this was just awesome. I just thought, this is where I'm sort of meant to be, because I really like being able to put people's voices on air. So they tell their own story. It's not me telling their story.
Right. That's one of the things I like about NPR. The way the stories are told, I think, is just far better than any other media that you encounter on a daily basis. It's really great. And so you did dabble in TV and in print journalism, but you really sought out radio. Why maybe, I guess what I'm trying to get at is why public radio as opposed to like a commercial radio or commercial news or...
One is the time you get for stories. I get a much longer time, like commercial radio, you just get like 20, 30 seconds to tell a story. And at WUIS, we have much longer, like a short story of mine will be 1.5 minutes, and then I have up to 8 minutes to do a segment if I think that warrants it. So I have more time. I also, there's a lot more production. We use a lot of sound, or we try and use a lot of sound. You're allowed to be a lot more creative, I think, and there's no screaming at each other. Like I just don't like the talk radio format. I don't like
the talking heads.
Right, I just don't.
So let's talk a little bit about that ambient sound that NPR does, because I think that's really cool. Is that something you think about when you're out? Are you trying to get ambient sound?
Yes.
Okay, now do you often go out alone?
Always alone.
Really?
Always alone, yeah.
Okay, so
NPR has like a crew along with the reporters, but no, I'm not there yet.
Okay.
I go out by myself. I've got a little equipment bag, which isn't bigger than any bigger than my handbag. It's just a mic and my digital recorder. And yes, I do. I definitely do think before I go, okay, how am I going to set the stage? It's almost like a novel where you're looking at scenes. So, okay, how am I going to tell the story in scenes? What is my narrative going to be? What is the beginning and the end going to be? And of course, you can think of ideas, but, it's never going to turn out quite like that. So I think of a few options, and then when I go there, I just see what I get.
That's great. I like that so much, because there is something about those stories, the way they unfold, and you get the sound effects, and especially when it's a story about something like a hog farm. It's like all these squealing sounds in the background. I love that. If you could just go into a little detail about maybe the typical day. Explain your job to the rest of us who haven't worked in radio, because I'm fascinated by the scheduling and all that sort of thing.
Oh gosh, it's not fascinating at all, John. It can be very frustrating actually, because every day when you go into work, you have no idea what your day is going to be or how long it's going to be. So sometimes I go in the morning and I think, okay, I'm going to be out of there at 5 o'clock. And then there's a night meeting or something, and my day just never seems to end. The really great thing about it is that every day is different. Every day you interview someone different. Every day you are taken to a completely different situation, so out of your comfort zone. So even as a person, I think it just helps you grow so much, because you're encountering people and places that you didn't know anything about. It's so humbling, because if you think you know anything about anything and you have to do a story and you realize, wow, I know nothing on this. So you have to really start at the bottom.
That's cool.
So it's constantly changing. I cover school board, city council, routine things like that. And then I cover something unexpected, like this week when they announced Ursuline Academy was closing. That was completely unexpected, and I had to work on a story on that. So it can just change.
Wow, yeah, that's cool. Okay, now a little bit more about your personal life. What do you like to do on a day off? What kind of things, what hobbies do you have, that sort of thing?
Oh my gosh. Sleep figures prominently. I just sort of potter around the house on my days off, I think. I like watching movies. I love reading. I read a lot. I come from a really big family. I have 4 sisters who are all in different countries, and my parents are in a different country. So I spend a lot of time catching up with friends and family, in different countries, or, wherever they are.
Now, I know when we tried to get you on the show, I think back in December, you were traveling. Did you go to India at the time?
This past year I went to India, yeah.
And so do you do that frequently, or?
I go once in 2 years to India, and the other year we meet in a different country. So the year before that, my family went to Kenya, and we're going this year to Turkey. So that's really
that's
nice.
really cool.
Yeah.
So you get to do a lot of neat stuff, I guess. Okay, now we talked about this a little before the show, but for people in Central Illinois, something that's always been a mystery to me is burgoo. And I know that you covered the burgoo. So tell us a little bit about what the burgoo is, because to me it's always just like roadkill stew is what I think of it as. I think of people just collecting this roadkill and throwing it in this thing. So what is it?
It's just like a I think a mishmash of like everything, which turns like it doesn't seem like anything the individual sort of. It's like a lot of vegetables and meat and stuff, and then when they cook it, and they cook it for hours and hours in these huge, you know, pots.
Yeah.
It just turns into, it's delicious.
It
if
is?
you don't know anything about it, you know, you have to go and try it.
Yeah, I'm always tempted. I have
It's
looked at all the
amazing.
websites about burgoo, and I think, oh, I should really go and eat it sometime. But was it kind of creepy though? When I read in your story that you were there like during the midnight shift, and there were just 30 guys around like steaming cauldrons, stirring the stuff. Was it kind of weird? Was it like a cult or something?
No,
Did it feel like
they
that?
were so cool, so
Really?
cool, yeah. I just, they chatted, and they, you know, I stirred for a bit, and they just were really happy to talk about what it meant to them and their community and stuff. So, no, we got chatting, no, not at all.
It's really a long-standing tradition, I guess, right? It's
It
passed
is.
on from family.
I can't remember now how long that town has done it for, but no, there was another food story I covered, which was the Turkey Testicle Festival. Now that was
Now that's good times.
that was creepy, but
Yeah.
this is cool.
That is cool. I like that. Okay, you talked a little bit about that you like to watch movies and read books. What was the last movie you saw?
Gosh, I watch a lot of documentaries, and I just finished watching Jesus Camp,
Oh, is that good?
which it's awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
when I heard about that, I thought that's something I have to see.
It's really, really good.
But I usually get so sort of like agitated by those things that I don't know if I would be very
No,
comfortable watching it.
you'll just love the little kids. You know,
Oh,
whatever
really?
you think of their point of view or what they're doing, the kids are so smart and cute, and yeah, you'll love the children.
That's
yeah,
cool.
watch Jesus Camp.
And so I will have to watch that.
Yeah.
What's one of your favorite movies, or a movie that you could watch just about any time?
I don't usually go back to movies. I don't think
Really?
I've actually ever watched the same movie twice.
That's a good answer. I like that, because some people will watch the same movie hundreds of times, and I think that's a little weird.
Sometimes you think, gosh, what are they seeing? Like, are they seeing layers that I've not seen? You know, to me, it's almost like, okay, I've seen it, like, onto something new. So, yeah, I don't think I've watched the...
That's good. Something that I have to comment on, because I think when people found out I was going to try to interview you, I don't know if you realize this, but you have a giant fan base in this town, and they really like your voice. And so where did you get your awesome voice?
Gosh, I don't know. One, I think the fan base is really a fan base for the station. I mean,
That's
I
probably
truly
true.
believe that. Like, people believe so strongly in NPR and WUIS and what it stands for, that I feel like, you know, in a way, I didn't have to work so hard to prove myself, because, you know, I sort of tagged along with what the station stood for.
Yeah.
But my voice is just a mix of accents, I guess. It's a little bit of English. It's a little, because I grew up there. But it's a very urban Indian, convent-educated accent. That's the closest I can get.
Yeah, it's very nice. Anytime your name comes up, people are like, oh, I love listening to her on the radio. So you do have fans, and several people showed interest in coming here tonight to meet you, and we sort of lied to them and told them to leave us alone because we thought that might be kind of creepy. But you do have fans here, and you should be proud of that. What about music? Music, books, what kind of music do you like?
Oh, gosh. Really sad, pathetic sounding country music.
Really?
Yeah, people are so surprised usually, because they think because I'm Indian that I love Bollywood movies. So they always ask me about Bollywood movies, and I'm like, oh, no, talk to me about country music.
Now, the country music, that just seems different. I mean, not for no reason other than I just wouldn't expect that, I guess.
Yeah, I think growing up when I was a kid, I used to listen to like Jim Reeves and Ernest Tubbs and like all the old country music. Yeah. So I guess that sort of just continued. I like country music a lot.
Yeah.
I like bluegrass. Yeah, I like.
Yeah, that's cool. So do you find that you like more of the older country than the new? Because I don't like much of the new stuff. I do like a lot of old country, but...
Yeah, it just depends who the singer. I don't like the more pop sounding Once, yeah. I like classical music a lot. I played the piano when I was young.
Really?
So I really like classical music.
Yeah. And what about books?
Oh, really anything. I don't like fiction as much as I like nonfiction. I really, books like Fast Food Nation,
Yeah.
I just love those sorts of...
So you're really into the nonfiction. I guess it fits with your journalism.
Document-
Yeah, you like
yeah, and
documentaries,
yeah,
you like
yeah,
nonfiction,
yeah.
so that makes sense. I have to say that I feel like I'm doing the whole Chris Farley thing. Like, remember that time that you did that story? Or, I feel like I'm really acting like a goof. So it's a good thing you're a smart guest because you can talk and things. Well, let's see. What else about Sangamo Town? I'm going to ask you some of these fun questions.
Oh my gosh.
These are some questions that I've drafted for Micah, but maybe we haven't gotten around to, and they're just sort of goofy questions. So, what inspires you most? Or who or what inspires you most? Maybe like a mentor or
Gosh,
someone
15 minutes might pass before I come up with a decent answer. I think I would have to say the person whose story I was telling.
Really?
I really, really worry and think a lot. There are so many people who think, oh, don't talk to the media or don't trust the media. And if they only knew how long or how much time we spend thinking of whether we are really representing the people we're interviewing honestly and truly. I mean, I really, really worry a lot about that. So I would say the person I'm interviewing.
So every day you've just kind of got
Every day,
an inspiration.
whoever stories, yeah.
That's great. That's a very good answer. I know Micah would not deliver an answer like that. He'd say something like, me. I'm the most inspirational guy.
I'm so disappointed he's not here.
Yeah, well, we'll have to have you back when he's on. Okay, what about if you could? Well, that might be touchy for you, but I'll ask you anyway. You can decline any of these questions. If you could challenge any local politician to a fist fight, who would it be?
Oh my gosh, none of them.
None of them. Not Groucho. Okay, name a famous person you'd like to have lunch with.
Oh my gosh. We're in Springfield. I'd have to say Abraham Lincoln.
That's a good answer. I like that. Yeah, living or dead, I think Abraham Lincoln would be a good person to eat with. Although his habits, he doesn't look like he would have really good table manners. I don't know if he would or not. When you go out to eat, what is your favorite appetizer?
Anything spicy.
Really?
I'm not fussy at all about food. I'll just eat anything. I remember once you and Micah had asked, I think you had some guests on who were going to eat donuts or
Yes.
something. And I was telling people in my office, and they said, oh, you should go, you'd win. No one believes how much you eat.
Really? See, I wish you could have been here because, that was a lame donut eating contest. I don't know if you ever saw it.
No, I didn't.
But Sarah Wojcicki ate one donut, and Amanda Reevy ate 1.5 donuts. And this is in a 5-minute span of time. They were weaklings, and we were really hoping for a knockdown, drag-out battle, and we didn't get it. So next year we'll have another one, and you'll be on.
Well, I do eat a lot, so I'm not fussy about food. Anything spicy, I really like spicy food. So that's great because there are so many Thai restaurants here.
Yeah.
It seems, I really like it.
Thai food, that's something every Wednesday night we get Thai food. We tutor on Wednesday nights, and so it's just so nice to just go get Thai food. Yeah. Okay. Favorite dessert?
I'm just so not fussy. Anything sweet, chocolate, anything with chocolate really is my
chocolate's
favorite.
The best.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Describe your hair washing technique. Do you lather, rinse, repeat, or?
Oh my gosh, I don't even think. I'm looking at your hair and thinking, gosh, you've spent more time on your hair than I have
this.
tonight. Oh, John.
This, folks, this is a beautiful locks of hair right here.
Mine is, gosh, wash and go literally.
Really?
I don't spend a lot of time at all.
I think that's the same answer Micah gave me when I asked him that
Oh,
question.
really?
Yeah, so you guys are in the same boat there. Okay. I don't know. What's something that when you see it or hear it, it just takes you back to your childhood? You know, there are always those scents or those sounds that kind of make you think about your childhood?
Lots of people talking at once. Because
of
I
you.
grew up, I have 4 sisters, and we were always talking, loudly over each other. Oh my gosh, my poor dad didn't stand a chance in that house.
I bet. So where were you in the...
A second.
The second, okay.
Yeah. So anytime there are lots of people talking, that sort of takes me back to India and takes me back home.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that. Well, we're about out of time for tonight's show, so thank you again for coming on.
Thank you.
And it was a real pleasure. I wish I would have maybe spoken more coherently. I might have seemed smarter.
You
tonight.
made it. I thought it was going to be far more nerve-wracking than it was. So
it goes
thank
pretty
you.
fast. I think. Thanks. See you next time.
Hello, welcome to the party. Hi, I've never met you before.
I know.
Just 2 guys and we're having a good time. Having a good time. Having a good time. Just 2 guys and we're having a good time. Having a good time.